The lighter side of RC doing a heli? Really? Hey guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to a heli build here at the lighter side of RC. We have the Roban Apache 700 series helicopter. This came to us from Motion RC. We've got some parts that came with it as well too. This is going to be a unique one. It's been sitting here for a while in the box. Haven't opened it up yet, so this is sort of an unboxing and video number one in however many videos this is going to take. This is going to be interesting. Welcome to the journey. All right, well, we'll open up the parts first here because we've already got the parts opened, and we'll just take a quick look at what was sent. I believe this is kind of a pre-made kit for this aircraft. So we've got a Scorpion motor. There is the details on the motor system. We've got a Demon 3-axis flybarless system for RC helicopters. Never dealt with one of these before, so it'll be a fun setup process on this guy. We've got a Castle Creations BEC Pro. That's good. We've got a Castle Creations Phoenix Edge high voltage F160 ESC. So big mamma jamma, this is a big sucker. There's some of the details on it as well. So helis, 700 or 800 class, fixed wing, giant scale, so big, big monster. And the last thing we've got here for the aircraft is our servos. So these are MKS servos, DS1220 for the cyclic, and the tail is a HBL brushless 980 servo. So not familiar with these guys as I haven't used them before. The 1220s we've kind of used, but there they are. All right, so time to open up the heli. I'm not really sure. Looks like it's taped, but it's also glued. We'll try and save the box because we may end up reusing it. I don't know. Ooh, very nice. All right. Ta-da! Okay, so when you first open up the box, that is what it looks like. Very cool. I see a decal sheet there, maybe. Probably some blades in here, I would assume. Anyways, let's start pulling these pieces out and see what's up. All right, so because we don't have a lot of size compared to like dealing with a turbine aircraft, I'm going to pull these parts out and just lay them on the table, and then we'll take a look at them if we can get them out. I'm assuming there's something in here. But it could just be taking up space. No, there's something in there. Canopy or something. Maybe. I think the next thing to take out is the body. Fuselage type thing. All right, so, oh yeah, that's light. All the mechanics aren't in there yet, so yes, main body, we got a boom here, tail. Okay, we got decals or decals. Got another box with some stuff. Another box, looks like with a head. They definitely did a lot of pretty serious gluing on this thing. All right, so we've got our insulation knife. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. All right, so this box, we're just gonna cut it open and pull whatever's in here out, because if I keep going, I'm gonna end up breaking it. That's the landing gear. All right, so box is empty. Okay, so I'm gonna reposition you guys and we'll start taking a look at all the bits and bytes. All right, so general review as of right now, everything was very well packaged. We've got the decal sheets. We've got a couple pictures there showing the layout for the nomenclature and decals. And I'm assuming that's a manual, which is awesome because don't really know what I'm doing, so that's going to be fun. We've got some packing material. So we're just going to start pulling this stuff apart. I'm going to start off with the big things like the fuselage, the tail, these things, and then we'll start opening up the boxes and see what's in there. All right, so we'll start off with the fuselage body. Let's see what that is going to have for us in store. So if you're not familiar, when I started the RC aviation side of things, I actually started with helicopters. That's what I started flying when I first wanted to get into this hobby. So helicopters are not foreign to me. The technology nowadays is very different from when I was in the heli side of things. We just started getting into flybarless when I stopped, but all right, so fuselage wise looks good. I'm actually quite impressed. It's all fiberglass. We've got a bunch of carbon laminated pieces in there. I don't know how this comes apart, so I'm just going to possibly leave it for now. Oh, just magnets, there we go. Cool, so there we go. All the canopy glass is done already. The paint's really nice. It's a nice matte finish. You know, some decent scale details here. We've got the intakes, exhaust, so that's cool. All right, so here's a close-up of the canopy. So you've got pins on the front, pins on the bottom, and then magnets on the back parts there. And there's a shot inside the fuselage. So you can see what's going on. Cool, cool. Not that heavy. I don't know the actual weight yet, but looks decent. And then we've got a shot in the rear part of the fuselage there. So cool. So let's open up the tail next, and then we will start to get into the boxes. Nice. Now I don't know if there's a big access thing here, access panel. That's neat. I don't know if, I would assume that there's going to be mechanics that goes inside of this, because I don't think just the fiberglass itself would support it, but it looks good. Oh, cool. Scale little screen thing there. That's pretty neat. So again, nice finishing touches on it. Let's get into some of our boxes and such. Okay, so we've got landing gear here. Oh, that's cool looking stuff. It's all aluminum. Nice. All right, so nice looking landing gear. Struts, spring loaded, and aluminum wheels as well too, on bushings, and then our little tail wheel as well. Very nice. Again, spring loaded. Very cool. All right, so let's open up. I'm assuming these are our blades. That would kind of make the most sense. Oh, blades and other stuff. Okay, so we've got, I think, probably tail boom and control rod. We've got maybe 5 blades, 3 blades, 5 blades, I'm not sure. Let's open these up and see what we're up against. I don't know, I've never really paid attention to the Apache helicopter, so I don't, maybe it's 4-blade head on the Apache. Yeah, that's probably what it is. All right, so blades, just black. I'm assuming just fiberglass blades. I don't know how scale they are, but they are what they are. All right, we got 2 more, so yes, 4 in total. And it looks like there is some blade tracking stickers here. decals. So yeah, we've got just some black decals. All right, this box here, I'm assuming is filled with air because it's got nothing in it, but I think there's something. Oh, cool, scale a little bit. So this is, feels like it's 3D printed, maybe, or injection molded or something, but yeah, scale little piece there. All right, let's open up these guys. We've got our tail blades as well too. We'll just set those aside. We're going to keep those ones wrapped up. For this guy, I don't know what it's made of, so we'll just be cautious here. Meaning I don't want to take it and like cut the, if it's carbon fiber, nick up the carbon fiber, right? That's what I'm talking about. So it's a tail boom, and it is aluminum. Peel that all the way off. So yes, aluminum tail boom. Brings back memories of my T-Rex 700s. All right, so we've got our supports for our tail. We've got control rod here done as well. And this is probably our shaft for the tail. It's probably a shaft drive. So yes, shaft drive. We've got an aluminum shaft with aluminum ends. Very nice. All right, let's check and see what is in this box. Maybe we'll pick the end that's not covered in glue. Now, it might have made sense to pull the manual out and see what the manual says, but we need to take a look at all the parts anyways, so I think it's okay. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so we kind of have a basic instruction sheet. Won't bother reading that right now. We've got some other bits and bytes here. That's the head. Let's take a look at the collective. And I apologize in advance, guys. It's been a long time since I've dealt with anything helicopter related, so if I'm using the wrong terminology, my apologies. But we've got an all aluminum head here. The ball joints are all plastic. They kind of remind me of the old Align ones, the Align 700 series. So, and then we've got washers for top and bottom of blades. So that stuff all looks good. Very nice. While we're here, let's open this thing up, see what's in there. Oh, we've got cockpit. Very cool. Some seats, some sticks. So pretty rudimentary, simple cockpit, but better than having nothing included. So very nice. All right, while we're here, we've got our tail as well. That's cool. Nice. Whole bunch of grease on there already. So there's the tail setup for blades as well. And what do we got here? Probably tail mechanics. Yes. So this is the angle. So you've got the actual tail piece. You've got this extension, which is going to join these two. And then we've got, this is the tail joiner, and you can see the linkage here, which is going to be, the linkage comes from the fuselage and adjusts this one, which comes up to our tail. And we've got our drive shaft, or intermediate drive shaft between the two inside there, and the intermediate control arm. So lots of pieces in there, which is great. We'll open up the main body here. I don't know if this is like from a specific model or company, but looks like it's quite well made. I mean, it's got carbon fiber everywhere. We've got belt drives everywhere. Nice looking hardware. All the servos mount right in this position there. So yeah, decent looking setup. Huge, huge main shaft. So nothing wrong with that. Very cool. Interesting joint here for our tail system. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, cool, Cool setup, good looking quality, happy with that. All right, in our last box, I don't know what's in here, so let's open this up and find out. All right, we got a bunch of packing material. Ooh, lots of scale bits and bytes. This is cool. So it looks like we've got a light kit, a whole bunch of hardware. So I'm not going to open that up yet, but we'll just keep that together. And a whole bunch of scale pieces. Lots and lots of scale pieces. I mean, look at this. We've got bags and bags of these things. Very cool. Oh, nice. Some armament. Oh, there we go. That's cool. This is going to be a pretty sick looking bird, I think, when it's done. These are all fiberglass pieces as well, so nice. Very nice. Very cool. This is definitely a neat looking kit. Definitely neat looking. So that's going to be fun. I'm going to leave all these scale pieces inside there. All right, so now that we've got all of our parts laid out, one of the observations here, like I remember putting my old Align kits together and they would just come all flat packed, nothing like this, of course. So that's kind of cool to see all this stuff done up. Of course, we'll be taking everything apart, Loctiting it all. That's something that obviously is one of those critical things. Whether you're building heli aircraft or turbine aircraft or any aircraft. So we've got all of our parts kind of laid out. The big box there we're going to leave as is. Now we take a look at the manual. The manual for this aircraft is great. I've taken a kind of a gander through it here and very, very detailed. So this is exciting to see. This isn't something we generally get in turbine aircraft. So really happy to see a good manual like this. Just some details here. Looks like the kit was released January 2015. So it's been almost 10 years. All the specifications are listed right there, so looks like everything falls in line with what we've got as far as equipment and everything goes. So obviously some important points, guidelines and stuff. So we're going to just kind of get queued up here in the manual and yeah, start off with step number one. All right, so because this aircraft has such a good manual, I'm not going to take you through all the steps like we would kind of do on a jet build because you've got everything laid out for you. So this is going to be very brief and to the point. Now I will touch on things as they become issues or things that are maybe variations from the manual or changes that I make. That's the things we're going to expand on. But otherwise it's just going to be quick snippets of this process, putting things together. One of the important things as you go through the manual is everything is numbered on each step. So that's kind of cool because then you can look and say, okay, we're using part number 39, 43, and 40. So you come here and you can actually visually see parts 39, 40, and 43, which is awesome. That makes finding things very good. So first step here is we need to join the tail boom to the fuselage or get that figured out. So it talks about using the wood washers. Now these washers, I don't know if this is the way they originally intended for the kit, but there's blind nuts in here and little screws. So that's what's going to be holding the tail boom onto the fuselage. And there's no specific areas that are marked out, so we're just going to get those guys lined up. So what we'll do in this case is get it lined up like that, and we will drill our holes. We'll probably tape this in place first and then drill all of our holes, 6 of them, and then we'll mount our blind nuts. Our little screen that's on the front here, the little scale screen came out, so we'll get that put back in place and just use some CA and glue it in place. All right, so we taped the tail boom on to the fuselage, drilled out our holes, and then I got our wood pieces and our blind nuts installed, and then I took some glue, some aero epoxy, and glued around each of those. So those guys are done. Now this scale piece here on the new kits, which I'm assuming this one is, this is already built into this piece right here, so there's no need to glue that on. Now we're moving on to installing the tail wheel onto the boom. All right, so we've got our tail wheel mounted. That gets screwed on from the inside of the tail boom. we've got that set aside, and now we're working on our front landing gear or our fuselage landing gear. When you cut these things out of the packages, all you want to do is follow the instructions and make sure you measure these guys, and that's how you'll know which one's which. So for example, they say you need to use part number whatever, 43, and 43 is supposed to be a M3 by 35, so just measure the from the head to the tip, and that'll give you an idea of the layout of the parts. So far everything's going together quite well. All right, so we've got one of the landing gear installed. Now one thing to think about here is, this isn't covered in the manual very well, but these bushings that go in there, you want to have the shoulder portion of the bushing or the flat part of the bushing sitting against the fuselage. If you don't do that, what happens is they tend to bind as you tighten them up, especially with that the lower one or the main pivot there, because there's some structure around that which will cause it to bind. So just a little point of interest for you. So we're going to flip the fuselage over and get our other side installed. So next step after getting the main wheels done is getting the tail boom attached. So we've done that. All of our screws and everything worked out very well. And of course, use Loctite on those guys, very important. It's nice and solid now. All right, next step in the manual to get our pylons glued onto the little wings. These kind of only go together one way because they're sized big and small. I do have to do a little bit of sanding on the rivets to make sure they sit down properly. And then we sand these areas just to make sure we get good glue adhesion between the pylon and the wing. And we've sanded the wing a little bit at the joint there as well, or the pylon. All right, so our scale intakes are installed. Just use some high sol on those guys, or aero epoxy, and also use a little bit of CA in the middle. I didn't show you guys this stuff, but the base here is shaped like this. So I took the base of the intakes, sanded them down on the belt sander to make a nice flat surface, and then I put a gob of aero epoxy on the front, the back, and a little bit of thick CA in the center. So when you squish that down, it squishes everything nice and flat, and then use a little bit of kicker. You can see the residual kicker here to hold that guy in place. That's definitely what I found to be the best way to hold something like this in place. So once the aero epoxy cures, it'll be nice and solid, but it's pretty solid right now unless you bumped it. And also making sure that we sand down the fuselage surface before we glue that, otherwise it's just going to pop the paint off. All right, it's definitely starting to take shape, looking like a bad you-know-what helicopter. It's going to look cool with all the scale bits on there. Next step to move to is, it looks like a machine thing. There's an exploded view of the parts. So I think that goes on the front here is where that goes. So we'll try and pull all the parts out. I'm not sure if this comes already put together as a bundle, so let's gather those things. All right, so we've got all assembled. Now the only kicker here is the kit doesn't include 2.5mm Allen key bolts for joining to the frame. So those are these guys right here. So I took some of those hardware out of our supplies. I guess you could use 3, but then you'd have to drill out those little pockets that the screws sit in. It's just not a good idea. It's really designed for 2.5. So anyways, that is installed. The is pretty mean sitting on the bottom of that, so looks good. All right, guys, and that's going to wrap up video number 1 in the Roban Apache helicopter assembly process. Definitely been interesting and unique. Obviously, a big part of this video was the unboxing. So I think in the next video, we're going to be accomplishing much of the project. I'm not going to say all of it, but we're making some good progress on this thing, and all of the steps go fairly quickly because the manual is so well put together. So next video, we'll just continue on with the manual and see how far we can make it on this thing. So thanks for tuning in. One suggestion I'll give to you is, if you want to see some behind the scenes stuff here at the shop, definitely encourage you to check out the Lighter Side of RC After Dark. It's actually a separate channel for us. And what we do is live streams here from the shop every 2 weeks for about an hour and a bit. And it is tons of fun. If you're on the live streams, you get to interact with us and ask questions all in real time. So I love it. It's tons of fun. So definitely check that out if you're interested. Thanks for watching, guys. This is different and fun, and we'll see you in the next video.